Welcome to this demonstration of manual input to GTNet TIXs. We will show manual data entry using the TraceTracker Data Uploader. First, there is a small presentation with background, assumptions and examples. This is an overview of the GTNet environment where we will be working. There's a chain consisting of 3 companies, one called production, creating raw materials, formulation, processing raw materials to products, an RDC distributing this, and there's also an external company called distribution company. We assume that the operator who will be using this setup have information on paper that should be entered into the traceability system. To emulate this paperwork, we have one slide per step in the traceability model with information towards the end of this presentation. The identifier schemes employed in the setup are based on GLNs and various properties of the activity in the company. These are replacements for SSCCs and SGTN schemes. If the company wants to start using such GS1 schemes instead, the traceability system is ready for this. In general, the identifiers of things on the upstream side of a company are decided by the supplier of those things. That covers the incoming shipments and the received products. Whereas the company itself decides the identifiers of things it sells to other companies, that is finished products and outgoing shipments. There are some simplifications employed in this setup. That means that whereas the traceability system is relatively complex in terms of attributes, most of them have been configured away so that we only use a small set in the example. But the other attributes can be uploaded out of band if required, as long as the same unique identifier is used to identify where the attributes should be stored. This activity could, for example, use spreadsheets. So the paperwork for the reception of goods is this, where we have an incoming shipment identifier, and we will use one attribute in the setup. From the incoming shipment, there will be one received product with this identifier decided by the seller of the product, and one attribute, the article number. It continues by using this raw material, the received product, as an ingredient in the production, which has this batch ID identifier and one article number property. After that, we have the finished product, which will use this identifier and have one attribute called article number. Lastly, there's the outgoing shipment with this identifier, and the country of origin is Norway. In general, the first part of these identifiers is a GLN, and what we're seeing here on the outgoing shipment is the GLN belonging to the company actually selling this product. So next, we'll demonstrate manual entry with the Data Uploader. We are not showing the configuration behind the scenes, so this is not the full story. Here we see the Data Uploader from TraceTracker. There are a number of different tabs here that illustrate the flow through the system. So we'll start by receiving a product, and that means starting with an incoming shipment which has this identifier. We'll select there's an incoming shipment that the supplier is called production. This we paste in the identifier as the delivery ID, and we select today's time. Then we take the property value and copy that into the field. Now we've configured the incoming shipment. Next, we want to say what's inside of that incoming shipment, and that we do down here. We say that we're operating with a received product, and it needs an identifier which we get from here. Maybe this identifier actually was a barcode or something on the packaging. And there's this property which we copy in here, and then we add this product. Now we've covered receiving a shipment and whatever was inside of it. Next, we go to the production step. So we want to do a production where we have, let's say, this identifier, and the production starts now. Here we actually see that there are many attributes associated with the production, but we'll just take this one, the article number, and copy it in here. And we see that we have well, this was the received product that we configured previously. We'll use that as an ingredient. So now we've selected that received product as an ingredient, and we've covered the production in the model. Next, we need to say what is inside of that. What finished products did it result in? And this is where we do that. We copy in the identifier and we copy the article number. And then we said that from this production we got one finished product. If there were multiple ones, we could do this last step here multiple times. The last thing then is to say how an outgoing shipment was composed of finished products. So we select the customer we're selling to, we select the identifier of the outgoing shipment. This identifier is of course generated by some other logic, and then we copy the country of origin to the attributes. Next, we need to select the finished product that was actually in the inside of the shipment. Now we've more or less completed a complete production chain. Of course, we did this linearly, but in real life there would be some people doing input of shipments, some doing production, and some doing outgoing shipments, for example. To complete this, we need to transfer it to the ticks, and here are the data that we have available, and we'll select the things that we did today for transfer, and we click transfer. And then we'll hopefully be able to take a look inside the ecosystem and see that, yeah, the batch ID has appeared here and we have this chain described. If, for example, we later want to add properties to this production, we can, through this tool, enter it here. But we won't show that anymore now. That's all. Thank you.